Hello everybody, it is Ebontis, and today we're going to talk about the StarCrossed mission. It is the exotic mission to get you an exotic strand bow. It's pretty legit. It's called Wishkeeper. And it's going to be once you partake in the weekly story. So we're on week 4. You have to do the story up until that point and actually go beat basically the story mission. And then it's going to send you into the StarCrossed. You've got Stasis and Solar Surge. I didn't really pay too much attention to Stasis. If you got something like Riptide, it's going to help. It's not the end of the world. Solar Surge is where I put my money. And then Void Threat is the thing to pay attention to, mainly for the boss. So, Void Threat. Double Void resistance early on, maybe Solar for some of the snipers. Final boss, I would definitely go probably double Void or triple Void, depending on if it's hitting you too hard. And something like Legend difficulty will probably be more important for the resistances. But Solar or Arc, kind of your preference of what's hurting you. If you have anything that's able to heal you, some type of healing exotic or healing grenade possibly, those are going to be quite beneficial. So I'm running Amit through the mission, as you guys will see as I run through with a buddy. There are some things that are just far enough away that having an auto rifle with a good chunk of range is beneficial. Something like Callus Mini Tool is just a little short ranged for some stuff. I mean, if you're running with a group and one of you could run Wish Ender, you'll probably be able to plink all of the snipers, no problem. But if you're running by yourself, you're kind of limited. So it depends on what your setup is. Again, don't sleep on Fire Team Finder as well. Fire Team Finder for this is going to be kind of magical, so don't sleep on this because the mechanics are not that hard. Up here, if you have Riptide, bring it. Just because it's going to be doing stasis damage and as a fusion, it's nice just to add on the damage. This is my ad clearing weapon, and then I use Dragon's Breath. So if you run just like this, pretty much if you're playing this season, you probably should have these. And Dragon's Breath is nice because most of the enemies you need to attack are going to be shielded enemies until you get to the boss. So you can drop a rocket onto them, move around, get a little cover, take care of some other things while it's working, and then still kind of double up depending on what you're doing. Remember, don't sleep on stuff like if you're running by yourself solo operative, Rays of Protection, any of this stuff. If you've got a group, you know, being Radiant and getting your super to be buffed stronger. Solar abilities weakening bosses, also going to be a nice thing to do. Throw that grenade before you dump your damage in. So those are all going to be things to consider using. Just Riptide is going to give you bonus damage, but the first time through I use this. You know, don't even have a crafted one yet, but Controlled Burst on this thing still does some work. Find something to clear some ads and then get some damage. And then everything else in here is nothing too crazy. It's nice just to go all solar, so my Surge is beneficial. Damage resistance for the boss is big. And then I tried to switch to an exotic, like I tried to switch over to Pyrogale towards the boss fight, and then I got detained, so my super didn't even matter. So it's not that big of a deal. But as we're going to jump inside, one thing I do want to do before we jump in is I want to thank the sponsor of this video. And if you guys watch these ads, this is a really good way to help support the channel. So if you guys will watch the ad, if you're interested or if you want to help me out, click on the link in the description. That is always beneficial. So let's check out the sponsor right now. What's up, everybody? Have you ever been waiting for your movie to start? Waiting for your number to be called at the DMV? Waiting for someone to finish shopping? Or for your doctor's appointment? And then again, in that tiny waiting room where you're sitting on that crinkly paper, waiting for the doctor to actually come see you, so your second time of waiting in that office, what's the one thing you've got in all those places? It's your phone. And it's got all the entertainment you need. So let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Raid Shadow Legends. Many of you have heard of Raid, but do you actually know what it is? It's a free-to-play, turn-based combat game with over 800 champions that you can earn to build out a legendary team that you can take into battle against both PvE encounters like dungeons, which are kind of similar to Destiny Strikes with unique bosses at the end, PvP through arena battles and tag team, very cool PvP battles in there that escalatingly get harder and harder, and an endgame with the Doom Tower that will challenge even the top players to make it to the highest floors. And I know you enjoy playing Destiny, but did you know Raid Shadow Legends has a campaign as well? 12 chapters, voiced cutscenes between each chapter.
11 generations of peace had reigned between the kingdom of Karok and the realm of Aravia.
And guess what? None of it's in the content vault. Actually, they keep adding more to the game, so you're only going to get a game that gets cooler and cooler. No losing content as you go. Now, you know something Destiny doesn't have, but I actually would love to see them do something like this? Giant world-scale bosses that take multiple groups of people to take down. Well, Raid Shadow Legends actually has that. These are called clan bosses, millions of health points, depending on which difficulty you choose, and we're talking 20 to 30 people combining damage to try and take one of these guys down. They're massive, and they're really cool fights, and there are some big ones out there. Speaking of clans, my clan is actually open right now. See, I'll show you guys right here. I've got a few spots open as of recording this video, and that was only a few days ago. So if you're quick, you can actually jump in and you can join my clan. If for some reason it's full when you see this video, that's totally okay. There's tons more clans to join. Find one that looks cool for you. Now, if you haven't started playing yet, make sure you use the link in the description or scan my QR code on screen so you can get these awesome bonuses. You only get them through the link, so make sure you go through that. You're going to get 2 epic champions from the link. Not 1, but 2. Really cool benefit here towards the end of the year. First is going to be Lightsworn, a very strong epic champion of the Sacred Order with some great defensive skills and even a revive on death skill. And the second is Juliana. And once you reach level 15, you're going to unlock her. She's another epic champion, boss killer, very strong attack type champion. So both defense and offense here for free, both epic champions. It's great. So once you're in, crushing your enemies, come find me under Ebontis and join my clan, and we can do this together. So just use the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen, and I'll see you on the battlefield. All right, now back to the video. All right, so when you load in, you're going to have this section in the Black Garden. These will open when you shoot them, so there are a couple moments, but all you got to do is traverse through this early section. Not really overly difficult. You can shoot this one, and that kind of got me about as far as I needed to get to. I jumped up on this platform last time. This part really wasn't too bad. Nothing too crazy on the traversal. I say Guardian down as Guardian goes down and my buddy with me, but it's part of the recording. If traversal's not your thing, you're going to have some fun moments in here, but if you play it cautious, it's not too shabby. I say that. So that one will sit open, yeah. Then we're going to get to some enemies up here. Now again, I've got Precious Scars, and I will probably do a solo video later, but this is just kind of an early section here. Trying to go through this as quick as I can just to show you guys how to get there. Alright, so that's your general opening section. You're going to come into this zone here. Now very far away, you're going to have a bit of a door, but let's jump in here first, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So you're going to have some snipers out on the edges occasionally, so watch out for those. And again, I'm using Amit. Basic things, again, as I said, you can swap to a fusion rifle, and everything is either craftable by everybody or this season's weapons, and if you're in this mission, you're playing this season, so I feel like that's a safe set of weapons to use. You can jump up there to that guy. It's not totally necessary, but I just kind of like killing snipers so they don't kill me from far away. But you'll eventually just want to go this way. Yeah, cool. Alright, as you come up here, you're going to start to see a symbol, and this is kind of your first tease of one of the early mechanics. The symbols do need to be done in order, and it's not quite clear first because you've only got one, but later on you're going to have a sequence of symbols, and that means that's the enemies that you need to kill in order to open basically a locked door. So you've got 2 different buffs. You've got the buff right here, called Sire's Obligation, and that is going to allow you to do damage to an enemy that is shielded, and you'll notice I have about 40 seconds to work on it. And you can see that this is the dragon guy. So this is why Dragon's Breath is nice, because you can work him from far away. Something like Wish Ender, honestly, if you choose that to be your exotic in here and you go with a legendary, probably going to work really well, especially on the bigger version. The legend version. So at that point, you've opened the door, so you can proceed forward. And this is just a quick run. Now, this is going to be a respawn section. You're going to have a buff here, and then you're going to have a few symbols over doors. So again, look for your snipers first. These are what I looked for early. Yep. The locations will change, so you're going to have to make sure and check what's where every time you come in here. It's not going to be reliable. So you just got to kill the symbols in them in order. The order, or the sequence of them, is actually over this main door here. So I've got, you know, jumping fish, I've got 8 snake, and then you can barely see it, but that's a bird. So I need jumping fish first, which that's 8 snake. I think this one was actually bird down here, so we're going to head over to the left. And here he is. Now, I know it's him, but you have to be over... You need to be able to have a buff to be able to do damage to him, and that's one of the big things to kind of pay attention to, is when your buff runs out, you're not going to be able to do damage, so you're going to have to go back and reproc your buff. So that's one thing to watch. If you know, once you know where you're going, grab your buff and then just go straight for the guy you're killing. So jumping fish is over here now, so we know where we're going. So now I can go after this guy. Just slowly working him down. My buddy's using the new bow, so you can get a glimpse of it. And they are finishable, so once you get them far enough along, you can take them out. And you'll see in the bottom left, paracausal energies gather, and a paracausal spark forms. So that's going to be step 1. When you do take an enemy out, you are going to see some Cyclops around, so be careful about that. And being as I chunked my hammer to oblivion, I don't have it right now, but soon enough. There we go. So watch out for the Cyclops. There we go. They're going to be around. So try and take those out so you don't get tagged by them from a random angle. Because they will nuke you pretty hard. Because it is a void threat, so their shot's probably going to nearly one-tap you. So again, my buff is gone, so right now I'm just clearing some ads. And if you want to make sure, you can come back here so you can see the top symbol's gone. We need 8 snake this time. And 8 snake is where my buddy's at. So I'm going to go grab the buff so I can help him with damage. And again, this is the blue buff. Remember, blue buff is being able to do damage. There's another one that allows you to go to certain areas. That's why Dragon's Breath is nice. You can just dunk it and run. And as this is a Stasis Surge, if you've got Riptide, it's going to be a nice alternate weapon for damage. Finish him when you can. Now again, before you head down to your final one, I would reproc your buff because that's all you really need to do. Watch out for the Cyclops though. If you can dodge them, that's fine. I know this is the guy down in the bottom area because this is the bird. Cyclops are more on the outside. You can just sit here and work him down. He's not really overly difficult. So just be a little patient with this guy, not too bad. But you got 20 seconds, so if you want to finish him up, but if you get him to finishable status, jump in here, not too shabby. That will be all 3, and we're moving on. So if you see a set of sequence of symbols, you're going to need to make sure you get them in order. That's more important later on, but also important there, because we tried the alternate order, and the dude just respawned, so the order does matter. We tested that. As you come up, going through the traversal, there are some interesting jumps. Alright, so this is Dam's. I'm going to say that probably wrong, but Dam's gift. It allows you to run through the orange sections without dying. You've got about 40 seconds in those, so you've got to be a little speedy when it comes to some of these sections that you go through. There may be some secrets to find later on. We'll get to those later. Head on forward, come out over here, and then when you're out of the orange fog, you're safe. So you've got 3 of these to open before we can proceed forward. And they're all going to be over here. So you got a few ads to clear first. And then Dam's gift is going to be up ahead. And again, I'm not using like the most epic weapon. Sunshot actually having some fun with that in the dungeon. Being as it's a solar surge would be nice in here. That's the trap, by the way, in case you're wondering how the bow works. So that's legit. So your buff is going to be here. You've got 3 doors. You've got a right side, a central one, and a left. Just pick one, and what you got to do is you got to run in, and you've got to kill the shielded guy, or the big, it's the big chicken. I forget their name. The big chicken guy before your timer runs out, so you can actually get the wyvern. Thank you. So kill him before time runs out. And this is where Riptide being stasis and not strand will just do a little bit more for you. All right, he's dead. That's going to drop the shield. I'm going to go ahead and imbue with paracausal energy. And that's the spark weakens the barrier. So if you open your spark, you should be good to exit. I still have the gift, but right now I'm just going a long way to get back. Clearing out a few of these guys. Alright, so here's the buff again, because I've got to run through this area to actually get back to my original spot. And there's some guys in here. See, I hear a sniper, but I don't see it. Spark weakens the barrier. Oh, is this your side? Right here where you're fighting? Okay, so these two connect. I already did that one, so retreat back. Okay, so the left and the right connect. Didn't actually know that. So now the center is just a loop. So you can actually go from the left, cycle around to the right. You'll come back here to the middle. And then you'll be able to head up to this center section. So again, you got to get the buff. Come on in. Same thing here. You're going to have a Wyvern way in the back. Now, I'm running Precious Scars. That's why I can be a little more brazen, because I've got a lot of restoration on me. I say that as I nearly die, but yeah, this is going to be... You're going to want to play cover a little more than I am, to be honest. I just get away with a little more with this exotic. Yeah, any healing exotics you've gotten here will be nice, because these guys really just do hurt. Hopefully that one procs. I have... There we go. When he goes down... See if he drops anything. We're going to add our paracausal energy. And once you're in the room, you can fight. It's the traversal between the rooms where you actually need to be able to do it. Alright, should be able to exit. I feel like I'm Oh, I'm actually going the wrong way. Yep. And then once all three are done, just go back the way you came. I'm going the wrong way here. Because this is like, if you come straight up the middle, you can go left and you can go right. Don't go wandering off where I was. That might be an exotic random thing later on, but you're going to come back to the middle, and now you got to eliminate the Vex back towards the little portal door we were at. So again, something with range is going to be really nice in here. That's why a bow, Wish Ender is going to be really good in here. Now, I've got my super, so once I take out some of the high guys, what I did before is actually go after a couple of these up top. I just ran the upper deck up here. So I could go after the snipers early. Oh, I'm gonna die. Not sure if this is a checkpoint. Got about 30 seconds to spawn though. Snipers being solar will definitely hurt though, so be careful about that. I got about 8 seconds. Should be safe. Fire Team Finder does exist, so check it out. Remember, it's a good way to knock stuff like this out if you don't have a team, and that way if solo's a struggle. There are triumphs for doing it solo, but it is far from required. That dude is all Void, and that's gonna hurt. That's why. Void threat on, that thing's gonna hurt a lot. Snipers in the back are just frustrating, but can't do much about those. Trying to kill this Wyvern. So we can go after the big guy. Apparently I'm not far enough to get him. There we go. So yeah, don't forget about your snipes. I'm trying to get up here to him. There we go. A little high ground never hurt anybody. That'll definitely finish him up. Alright. Moving on through the portal. So again, you can play this from far back at range. and be able to manage a lot from range. That's why if you got a good weapon, here is where our traversal section is going to be. These walls will move, so be careful as you come through here. Figure out what spot moves, because they will definitely launch you off. So this one you're going to want to crouch under. This one you're going to go up here. This one will push you off with this last little corner. And when you go from here, you need to peek all the way to the next edge. So you're going all the way across this little corner here. This doesn't really seem like it's going to be too much in your way, but you're coming up to this corner. But you want to kind of figure out the timing because they swap. So I actually head to it while it's closed. That way when I get there, it's going to be open and you got stairs waiting for you when you get done. This one is actually around the corner, or you can go left, either way. Again, time it when it's there, and it's probably not going to be there if you get the timing right once you're done moving. Move through here, crouch underneath. Same thing, be careful, make sure nothing's moving. Alright, so once you get out here, you can have a few guys joining you. And you're actually going to be headed into this tunnel. Now, if you go to the left, there's a room that I feel is going to have a purpose. Haven't figured it out yet, but there's a circular room with like this red growth, but you can't really climb up to the top. Not entirely sure what that one's going to be. I feel like it has something, though. But from this point here, we're going to go to the right. And we're working our way over there, actually, for our second phase of this kind of attack area. And we're going to be putting the plate buffs together. And once you get the buffs together, you're actually able to hold the buff as long as you step on one of the plates. So you're going to get the Dam's buff and the Sire's buff. It's probably like Dame and Sire almost, but it's not quite spelled that way. As this whole thing's all about the Ahamkara, which you'll figure out when you do it. Maybe it's something like that, who knows. Haven't quite figured out the lore yet. There's probably an expert who could school me on it. Alright. There's a tramp to do this in 20 minutes. This is not that guide. Later on, maybe, but right now, not so much. I'm sure Esoteric will have the Legend one done in 20 minutes solo without dying in about 5 minutes, so just give it time. Trying to get up here to this next section. Alright. So what's going to happen is you've got 2 spots for buffs. You've got the orange one here. And then if you come over here to this left side. So the Dam's buff is the orange one. That one lets you pass through the walls. This is the blue one that lets you do damage. You've also got 3 symbols here to figure out what order. So I've got the Infinity Snake, or 8 Snake, Jumping Fish, and then I've got the Dragon breathing left. So when you step here, you can see which is which, and you can also see my buff now says Crowned by Dragons. That allows me to interact with both consistently. So we've got 8 fish and then dragon, so the others are going to be up there. One of them is this area just right here in the middle. This is going to be the fish, and that is second, so we actually have to go into the farthest one first. So re-up your buff as you pass over, and then here's your 8 snake. So we're going to go get this one first. When you come in here, you got about 30 seconds to nuke, so go crazy. And again, you do need the buff to be in here, so if you run low, you're going to want to back out. You don't have to kill all these guys. So I got about 18 seconds left. So again, this is where heavy ammo is really going to come into play. Kind of wish there was a rally flag, but there's not. So that one is down. So the next one we're looking for, as you can see, the symbol dropped. Now we need the jumping fish, and my Crowned by Dragons is back since I touched one of the plates. Always make sure you're rebuffing that one. So we need Jumping Fish, which is this middle area here. Try not to get knocked off a ledge. Survived. Alright, my turn to fire back. The only good thing about this super, it stuns the ever-living crap out of these guys, so that's done. Grab our buff down here on the third part, and I'm gonna go nuke the last guy. Dragon for dragon. This will actually be a really good one for Fire Team Finder, I think. It's not too bad, but if you get the mechanics well, I think it'll actually play pretty nicely. Alright, so big guy's the one in the back. I don't even know if I got the tag on him or not. So again, you may need to grab the buff, run inside, and then go for some damage, back out, get the buff, and then come back in. Because until they're all down, you got to make sure you're safe. So come back here, grab your buff. Now we just have to defeat all hostiles. So you do have to kill everything. Is there anything left anywhere? I think everything's dead here. I feel like we're supposed to proc to go to the next section since we killed everything, but maybe there's a random enemy up. Yeah, the rally's up and the final boss room is there. So we are on the final boss section. It is weird, though. Now, the final boss is going to work in a similar fashion. I'm just checking the rooms to make sure there's no stragglers here. Nope. Okay, so now it's just the boss. So the boss is going to be same thing, combined effort of both. So we're going to rally flag up. I do recommend, for ammo's sake, if you have any piece of chest armor, throw triple reserves on it. Grab your rally flag. That'll max out your ammo. And then switch back. Now, the boss is void, so triple void is not a horrible idea in here. Because it's going to hurt. If you go into legend, maybe even more important. And the biggest thing is you're going to have two buffs down here. So you'll see my buff will go away, which is fine because you'll step on both of those. Once you have buff, you're going to have buff sections on either side. So one on the left and typically one on the right to re-up your buff. You've got two shielded guys, one on the right and one on the left as well. So without annoying the boss, grab the buffs, run into the right, and then you can at least go for the nuke on the right shielded guy. And then once that's done, then you might go for it. Now, one thing I am going to do, just to show you guys a really fast DPS kill, I'm going to switch over to Pyrogale when I get to do damage to the boss. We'll see how much I can nuke him. So let's grab our buffs and go in. So grab one and then the other and then just run into the right. And you're going to have your shielded guy right here. So I'm going to go for a quick damage on him. There we go. And then there's your one of your buff platforms. Now, I don't think that's one of them, but maybe it is. Okay, he flopped to the other side, so you got a lot of adds above. Be careful about the harpies. So this is the other big guy on the left over here. He moved on us. So a lot of harpies above, so trying to get a little cover back on this rear area here will help. Because the boss will be hanging out in the middle. Big guy is down, so make sure you re-up your buff. Now you can do damage to it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you guys. See, his health is not that bad. I'm going to switch over to Pyrogale at this point. And then I'm going to go big damage on the boss. He just nuked my super. That's special. Well, no boss kill in this one, I guess. So keep the boss damage going. Watch for your chains. Having anything, again, solar incandescent here is going to be really nice. Dragon's Breath is really, really good for DPS just because you can tag it and then get to cover. So it's not a bad option, but it really depends on if you're going for other builds. You might run something else. His health is really not that bad, though. You just got to find him if he roams around the room a little bit. Watch your detains. There we go. He's probably close to dead. There we go. Last one. Yeah, all without a super, by the way, because he zapped my super. So you might want to wait until you've been detained so you don't waste a super. And that's it. So now that you've wrapped up the mission, there's going to be some cool lore. So if you listen to the discussion back and forth, take a second. You're also going to get a cinematic, which is cool. Kind of gives a lot more depth to the story this season, which I really did appreciate. But not a crazy exotic mission. If we come back for Legend or Solo or things like that, that'll be a thing. And let me know in the comments below, did you enjoy that this was a just quick run through as opposed to a solo kind of slog, a little slower run? I will do a solo video later, but as the Fireteam Finder is out there, I feel like more people can probably get these things done with a group, because while it doesn't have matchmaking, you're going to have people that you can at least randomly jump in with, and the mechanics aren't overly difficult. If one of you understands the mechanics, you'll probably be able to get it done. But if you guys did enjoy the video, drop a like below. Again, if you want to support the channel, please click on the link in the description. Check out Raid Shadow Legends. That's a great way to support the channel as well. If you want to find me on Twitch or Twitter, it's Ebontis right here. Hit that subscribe button, and if you want to say hello, drop a hello in the comments. Have a good one, everybody, and good luck.